Hi everybody, it's Nikki, the communication coach here. Today I'm going to talk about something really important because there is a campaign out there by British Transport Police encouraging commuters to approach people to help save a life. It's called Small Talk Matters. And it's a great campaign. They've linked in with the Samaritans, and it's encouraging people who are standing at train stations or tube stations who see somebody behaving slightly differently to go up and approach them, because we know that if we talk to people when they are feeling suicidal, we might be able to momentarily distract them from the action that they're thinking about taking, and then get them or help them to get the help that they need in the future. Now, a lot of people who come to me for training say, I'm really worried about that. I don't want to say, hey, are you about to commit suicide, or are you thinking of taking your life, because I'm worried that that will encourage them to jump. Now, let me reassure you around that there has been a lot of research conducted into, do saying words to somebody who is feeling suicidal push them over the edge, push them to commit the action? And the answer is no. And I've been doing a lot of work with people who have mental health illness, and even when you're psychotic or have something else going on in your mind or your brain, and an illness that is stopping you from thinking straight, whatever straight might be, but is preventing you from thinking clearly or with clarity, it doesn't put them into a place whereby you say, hey, you're standing on the edge of a platform here, it looks to me like you're thinking of jumping in front of a train. It doesn't make people take the action. So the choice is always the other person. So I just want to make clear that point, that the choice is always the other person's. So if you are talking to somebody and they do jump or they do take their own life, that's not your fault. It's the other person's choice. Now, that's easy for me to say in the cold light of day, I get that. I'm very emotional if you ever have to witness that. The other thing is that sometimes we internalise challenges and problems to the point where we cannot see any other way. And when somebody talks to us and uses reflective language, it helps us to see clearly. It helps us to recognise that perhaps there is a different path to take rather than the one that we're about to take here. So first off, you're not going to get somebody to jump because you go and speak to them. And second off, it's people's choice, and people will make their own decisions and their own choices in life. And the third one is, don't worry about looking foolish. One of the fears that we have in life is about looking stupid in front of other people, and it's a big fear. And we say to kids all the time, oh, don't worry about that, just do it. And actually, as adults, we're just the same. And there's loads of videos that go around on Facebook that show people in a very uncaring fashion. They show somebody being bullied. The recent one is the bullying in the Burger King restaurant, which I've noticed, and you see the people watching. Now, we don't live in an uncaring society. We live in a society that reflects social proofing. And sometimes we will see an incident or something happening and it doesn't register properly in our minds, and we're like, that looks abnormal. But everybody around me is carrying on with their life and nobody is stopping. So the social proof is nobody's stopping, so therefore, yeah, it looks abnormal, but I don't want to look stupid and go over in case it is just normal behaviour and nobody else seems to be doing anything, so I'm going to carry on. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we give ourselves such a hard time around this, about we live in an uncaring society, and we don't. We really don't. You only have to look at big incidents that happen and how the camaraderie and people get together to help each other out, whatever that might be. And look at the incidents in London and in Manchester, all the tweets and the texts and the Facebook messages saying, come and stay with me, do this, do that. But we look for social proof. We do it all the time. There's lots of studies that have been done on this, especially in America, where a lady was attacked in her street. And she was screaming for help, and and people knew, they could hear the screaming, but because nobody else was doing anything, and they were looking out the window, and everybody else seemed to be just having a normal life, that they felt that somebody else must know about it and was either doing something about it, or it was nothing to worry about. It was normal behaviour, and it's called social proofing. And you see it all the time. You can see it now with the allegations of sexual harassment coming out against famous people, because somebody has taken something that's happened to them, being brave enough to say, hey, you know, this happened to me and it wasn't right, and now other people are going, gosh, someone's done that, I can follow on. So my point is that don't be afraid to approach somebody, even if nobody else is, and it seems like this is normal behaviour and that everything is going on in a normal day-to-day interaction. If something doesn't feel right to you and it doesn't look right to you, the worst that anybody will say is, no, don't be stupid. Why on earth would I do that? So if you're standing at a tube station and you see somebody on the platform who doesn't look quite right, you've noticed for some reason that maybe they're crying, maybe they're looking down, maybe they look dishevelled, maybe they're spending too much time there and haven't got on any trains. There's just something about them that doesn't feel right for you. Go and speak to them and say, hey, I've just noticed this. If I'm wrong, I'm really sorry. I don't wish to offend you. You know, we're in the UK. We like to be polite and not offend anybody. And the worst that will happen is they'll say, no, I'm fine. Or they'll go, what? And you might just distract them for a minute. And then you can just ask them openly, how can I help you? What can I do to help you? And then listen to them. And just be with them in that moment and listen. You don't have to understand because you won't understand. And if you say, I understand, they'll say you don't, because you don't. But you can listen. And that's my point really today, is I want to encourage people to do that. I want you to recognise that we don't live in an uncaring society, that people do care, but sometimes we're frightened to take that step, frightened of what other people might think about us. And that's a big fear, and it's been a fear of human beings for many, many, many years. This is not new. This is all proven in psychology and research. So be brave, have courage. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. Nothing will happen. You'll feel a little foolish and you'll walk away. But if you don't get it wrong, you'll make a huge difference to somebody's life. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. It's just one of my quick rants, but I think it's a great campaign, and hopefully that will have given you just some skills just to say what you see, say what you're thinking, and not be afraid of that. So if you see somebody standing by the edge saying, you know, you look like you're really close to the edge, I see you're very deep in thought, it looks like something's troubling you, what can I do to help? And see what happens. Okay, have a great day. Thank you for watching. Please share, please like. I really want to make a difference in people's lives and really help them around communication and conversation and connection. You know, human connectivity is such a powerful thing. I see so many people who feel that they don't have that in their life, and when events happen to them, they're unable to cope, and it takes them to a place which is uncomfortable for them, and they can't see a way out. And I wrote this in my blog recently, but when you look at people who are at the edge, who can't see a way forward, most people don't want to die, they just want a way away from the pain, and they can't see a way out because they're internalising. If you happen to be going through that, for whatever reason, if you happen to be watching this video because it's caught your eye, or because something has happened in your life and you're looking for some support, please just send me an email, send me a text, I'll reply to you. I always reply to people that contact me and see what we can do to help you. Okay, good luck, have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon.